What's up? What's up? What's up? Hope y'all can hear me pretty good. I think I set everything up right. Leave all your questions in the chat now, and I'll definitely get to them. So, have a good day today. I've been trying to make more profound content because, to be quite honest, like it's easy to share. Like I could chop it up and put it on Instagram and stuff like that. So it's been good for me to make some stuff that's more in depth versus just like how to put on size, how to build muscle this way, how to build muscle that way. Because I feel like we kind of all know how to do that at this point, but there's other little things that we probably could, be more aware of and more nuances to exercise and then help that probably a lot of content creators don't really discuss. And what's crazy, so like every time where I feel like, okay, I'm not going to shoot a video this week, or maybe I'm tired, or maybe I'll whatever. Like with YouTube, I get online and then like somebody just died, like some big YouTuber name just died or something happened to somebody, and I'll be like, oh shoot, like I get why they crank out so much information because you just you never know how much time you got on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what can you leave behind? And I seen like what happened last week with Jerry Ward, the other content creator who makes fitness stuff. He died, and that's crazy to me because like like I've watched his videos myself. I'm not even gonna flex. Like I've seen his videos before, so I knew who he was. And when I saw it, I was like, oh no, that's horrible. So my thing is just like, hopefully, if you guys listen to somebody, or maybe you listen to me, or you listen to somebody else, hopefully, some of this stuff that we say resonates with you. And then if it doesn't, of course, you could filter it out. But if it does, or maybe somebody else it would help, send it their way because it could definitely be helpful for them. So anyway, it's gonna be a light day today. I don't think it's gonna be a lot of people in here in the chat. I didn't post it that I was gonna be here until just a little while ago, but I'm gonna get this out the way because we definitely got some stuff to talk about. So first, is everybody good? Y'all all right? Can I get started? Y'all ready to go? Okay, so what I want to say is all advice isn't necessarily good advice. Okay. And the reason why I say all advice isn't good advice is because sometimes you can get great advice from the most unsuspecting people. We'll say that. Like you can get some good advice from some random people sometimes, and then sometimes you can get the worst advice from people who you really wanted some good advice from. And that goes in with anything. That could be with your regular life. Like sometimes my friends or my family, they'll give me advice sometimes. And I'm like, first of all, like me, like I can't take that advice. You know what I'm saying? Like that's never gonna work for me. But they got good hearts, and so I understand that they're not bad people. They're just at the time giving you advice based on what it is that they know, what they can handle. Same thing when it comes to your body. Like a lot of the information that you find is going to be universally available, but remember, everybody has such a different body shape, different body type. All of our situations and circumstances are different. Sometimes you just can't do the same thing that somebody else does. And even going up and asking somebody in the gym, hey, how'd you get like this? That doesn't guarantee that your body is going to respond the same way that their body did. And so when we're seeking advice and information, a lot of times, we're getting it from everywhere. And the reason I know this is because I've been this person, especially when I went into my natural bodybuilding journey and I was trying to figure out like what the heck is even natural bodybuilding? Like how am I going to win? Everybody's going like I didn't even know about steroids at the time. Like I didn't know about drug stuff. So I started going down a rabbit hole, finding out that people were lying and this counts as steroids, but this doesn't, this does. So you got to kind of get a lot of information and then funnel it and figure out what works for you, of course. But during that time of me researching, there was a lot of stuff that I was trying. There was a lot of stuff that I was like, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. You know what I mean? There was a lot of stuff that was like, this could work for somebody, but there's no way I'm going to look like this person. Even if I follow their whole program, there's no way I'm going to like this person. Like, and then a lot of times you'll notice that, for me, I'm a visual eye person. Like I understand I understand what I'm looking for when I'm looking at somebody. I say, okay, you need this, or you might be missing this, or maybe your rear delts need work, or maybe your back is too small, maybe your chest is too flat, maybe this is. And so when I start looking at it from that perspective, it helped me to start finding information for people who were about specific things. And I was able to find info on, okay, well, how can I, what are good exercises for this portion of my chest or this portion of this, or how do I build the shape that looks like X, Y, Z? Which exercises are good for these things versus just following somebody's advice and they're saying, yeah, you got to do this amount of sets, this amount of reps. I left out of the gym yesterday. And side note, I know I'm ranting today. I didn't even get into really my story yet because I guess y'all don't care, whatever. So anyway, side note, yesterday I was leaving out of the gym and I went to Crunch. And I went to this Crunch that I never normally go to. It was my first time over there. But, and I actually didn't even stay the whole workout. I was so, I wanted to do a certain thing when I was in the gym. I wanted to work my chest yesterday, and it was Thursday night. And I'm thinking, okay, nobody's gonna be in the gym, so I'm going in Thursday night trying to, get my thing on and do what I need to. The gym is cram packed, like with a whole bunch of people doing, whatever they're doing, and it just wasn't enough equipment. So actually, I did my triceps and I left early, and I planned on going to another gym, but I didn't. But on the way out of the gym, I overheard this guy telling this other dude about this workout, and he was like, yeah, if you just do this amount of reps and sets, first you got to go heavy and then you got to go light, and then you just got to rep it out at the end and just burn out until it's done, this and that. And I'm just like, why would you tell somebody that? Like, how do you know that that's gonna work for him? Like is that even solicited information? Like, did he say, what should I do today, or what do I need, or based on my dynamic? Like, of course you got a good heart, you're just trying to tell somebody, hey, try this. But sometimes the thing is, people really try that stuff. And people really take that information to heart and they try to use it as it's going to be their own. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so coming up, y'all, you got to be cautious of who you're taking information from, because it may not all actually be useful to you. And you may not be able to use it like you think you should be able to, but you just can't. And so be careful. Right now, the first thing I want to say is, as far as some advice is seasonal. Okay. Like, people aren't always meant to give advice that's timeless. You might run into a situation where you're reading somebody or you watching your favorite, whoever, and their advice on something is based on the knowledge that they have now. You ever notice though that every couple months something new comes out? New studies have shown that the way to build muscle, this is the way to build muscle. The way to lose weight is this way. Now try this thing. And it could be the same person preaching this and campaigning new stuff all the time. This new program, this is the fastest way to get muscle. If you want to burn fat, but still have this. If you want to get this, but still have, like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? So always so much coming in. And I'm not saying, don't keep up with the new and the current. If you can make something better, of course, improve it. But when you look at the person who's giving you that information, are they, is it like, do you even need that information from them? Like, is it necessary? Was the first thing broke? Is that why we need something new now? Because the first thing wasn't working? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's always seasonal and this is your winter style workout, this is your summer workout, this is your fall workout, this is your spring work, like, that guy or whoever you're taking advice from, sometimes you got to question it. And sometimes you can't keep up with all the new advice. Sometimes maybe one time their advice was good for you, but it's not really great for you as things progress. 6 months from now, maybe you get to a different stage in your journey where you look different now. Sometimes, like, I've been noticing a lot of times when I go on Instagram, a lot of the content people who are talking about fitness and how to do certain things and to build muscle, it makes me so cringy when I see somebody on there that's like, in order to pack on mass, you got to do this. And I'm like, you don't even look like nothing. Like, how are you telling people how to put on size and mass, and like, you trash? You know what I'm saying? So I know I hate to say that's offensive, but I mean, it is what it is. That's what I think in my head. I'm like, dang, this dude is trash. Like, he's out here giving people feedback on or advice on how to put on size or the best way and proteins to take. And it's like, you don't even have any detail. Like, yeah, okay, you can be natural, but you don't look like nothing. Like, look like something first and then give feedback, So the thing is, like I said before, I started off, sometimes good advice can come from some unsuspecting people, but then sometimes you'll get advice and it's like, dude, you just found out about this and now you online trying to create something. Do you really think that this is going to hold up for the rest of my life? Or is this some type of seasonal information that you just found out and now you want me to try it out? And 6 months later, I'm going to be back online. How do I fix the same problem I just tried to fix last month? You know what I'm saying? So keep it in mind. Like, it's not all good and it's not all to be kept on. But I'm going to tie it all together in a minute. So remember what I said, okay? And then to cap on that, the style may not be best suited for you also. Like, and you got to know who you are as a person. Like, I gotta stop saying like and right? Because that looks terrible. When I put it on Instagram, when I gotta go through the captions, I'll notice myself saying like, and yeah, and so whatever, and I say I'm gonna do this. So I gotta start practicing on my diction and maybe trying to even remove my accent from my speech. But I guess y'all can understand me, so we good. But the style has to be consistent with what your lifestyle is like. Like, I'm not saying you have to be disciplined to the point where, oh, okay, I only work out at nighttime. I only do this. I only do these workouts. No, but it has to be consistent to what, your lifestyle can afford to do, because sometimes you may not even be able to complete the workout or the advice as needed, because your style, your timing of day, none of that stuff adds up. So trying to force it on yourself and trying to make yourself do this new thing that you think is going to work because somebody else said it worked or whatever like that isn't always accurate. So be careful with that, okay? And I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying be considerate when you're making a decision to take an advice. You got to take it in and then filter out what you can't use, keep what you can use, right? The second thing I want to talk about is what feels authentic to you. What actually feels authentic? Do you feel good about it after you're done with the advice, or if you listen to this advice, does it actually feel like something you could do? A lot of times we know what it is that we need to do. I talked to somebody the other day, and they gave me a good piece of advice that was like, it put it back on me. And it was funny because, like, sometimes I need advice too. Like, I don't know all the answers, you know what I'm saying? I need advice too. And what she said was, well, you know what you need to do if you just say it out loud. And I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, I know what I need to do. Like, I don't need to be sitting here, telling everybody, broadcasting, well, should I do this? What do I need? What do I need? Like, if I look in the mirror and say, what do I need to do? Yeah, okay, that's probably what I need to do. Like, then I know what it is. I just need to say it to myself and get it out there and then follow through with it. A lot of times, I don't think we do that. We don't say stuff out loud enough to really convince ourselves that we already know what we need to do. But instead of doing what we know we need to do, we start looking for new feedback, new advice, the new improved method of how to get some new whatever to fix the issue. But you really know what you need to do in the first place. And so if you kind of stick through with that and do what's authentic to you first, it'll make everything else easier. And then when you're looking for advice, you'll be able to say, well, can I really use that? No, I can't use that. Or does this feel authentic to me? Does this feel right? No, this doesn't feel right. Maybe that will be good for somebody else, but it's not actually good for me, right? So it's fair. Like, sometimes you can use the stuff, sometimes you can't. Even my stuff, like, y'all listen to me and I'll say, start with your calisthenics. Do your abs like this, do your legs like this. Make sure you're doing your 100 pull-ups. Make sure you're doing this. And y'all be like, well, I don't know if I can do 100 pull-ups. I don't know. 100 pull-ups sounds like a lot. I don't know if that's good. And so, like, I understand, but like, if I do a program, it's for people who want to follow my stuff. But you can't mix my stuff and somebody else's stuff, some other stuff, some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to follow a certain direction and then see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then you can mix my stuff, some other stuff, some other stuff. But sometimes you got to see it through if it feels right to you. Now, if it doesn't feel authentic to you, then don't even mess with me in the first place. Start off with somebody else. And to tie that together, which makes my third point, and this is the point that I really wanted to come across on this fitness channel about, that I'm starting to learn about people. Okay, my channel is mainly for aesthetics and natural bodybuilding. I want you to look like something. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care what your numbers were, what your metrics are. I don't care if you bench press 1,000 pounds, whatever. Like, I'm all about having your mind right, your body elite. You know what I'm saying? Elite physique, and and making sure you eat right. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can do those things, then that's what the goal is when you go into the gym. I like to go in there and look like a object. Like, when people see me, they're like, yo, what? Like, I was at the beach the other day. I hadn't been able to take my shirt off in some years now. So I went to Lake Tahoe last weekend and came about the shirt. Yes, I'm a lot lighter than I normally am, but I still got supreme detail. You know what I'm saying? Abs chipping, obliques still detailed. You know what I'm saying? Like, all my parts are still there moving. And so when I took out the shirt, your eyes have to gravitate towards me to be like, yo, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the look I want. And I want y'all to have the same thing. I want y'all to have that same experience where you look better than everybody else on either mile of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's always the goal. Now, with that being the case, you have to be careful of the way you work out, because you may not ever achieve that if you're doing too many things. And what I mean by doing too many things is, a lot of times you'll notice that we'll mix different workout styles together and then call them our own. And this is very important, where this can be a problem later on down the line. And what I mean by different workout styles is, you may have some bodybuilding exercises you do one day a week, and then one day you're doing powerlifting, and then one day you're doing strongman, and then one day you're doing calisthenics, and then one day you're doing CrossFit style stuff, and you mixing it all together, thinking that that's how your workout program is. You have to understand, certain exercises are more for powerlifting, certain exercises are more for bodybuilding and sculpting. You'll see a lot of dudes in there deadlifting crazy weight. I gotta deadlift this. I gotta my numbers, my PR, this and that and that. For what? For what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, be against it, but ask yourself, why are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? Why in the world are you bench pressing or deadlifting all of this crazy weight? Like, is it making you look better? Is it doing anything for you? Like, are you just need some confidence or something like that to say to your friends, hey, I hit these numbers? Did it adjust your physique? Is my question to you. Is it changing your shape? If it's not changing your shape or adjusting your physique, is it necessary? And do you need to be doing it as part of your consistent workout style? And ask yourself, if you've been looking at yourself in the mirror for a while, have you really seen the progress? Has anybody else around you seen the progress of what these, different styles of workouts have been doing for you? Sometimes you just need to stick to one thing, and one thing will be good for you. Sometimes, yeah, you can take advice and try stuff. But what can happen is, when you take too many different things, and now you're doing powerlifting for your legs, and you're doing, calisthenics for your back, and you're doing CrossFit for your chest, and trying to just reps and trying to see what happens. All of that stuff, it doesn't mean that it's going to give you an ideal shape or ideal physique. You may just be trying a whole bunch of stuff, and sometimes, if you don't know where you're going, you'll get lost. And a lot of times, guys' bodies just look lost. They look like they do too many things, but not a master of one thing. And so if you're, a jack of all trades, but a master of none, it's still better to be a master of one thing, or even better just to be a jack of a bunch of trades, but you're still going to the gym. But for the most part, though, wouldn't it be better if you actually had something that you could kind of say, this is what I look like, and this is what I'm going for, So everybody who's on my channel specifically, when you're outsourcing information, for me, if you like my stuff and you like aesthetic training, be careful on taking in information from people who aren't coaching on training for aesthetics, because I'm about looking good. Like, F all that other number stuff. Like, I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my calves are round. Like, my hamstrings are growing. Like, my quads got detail in them. Like, do you have that? Or are you talking about numbers and what you did when you was in there with your friends, and how much you can bench, and putting on weight belts to mess your back up and stuff like that, and maybe, putting yourself in more situations to get injury prone? Keep that in mind, okay? Like, you got to make sure that this might, I'm not saying you got to make sure, but consider that we want this to be a timeless type of style. I'm getting older and older, and I still look good. I see guys too often that are getting older and older who aren't looking good, or who are getting worse, and maybe going to the gym sometimes. And I don't even work out that often. But once I learn my body, I know what to do. You know your body. You sit with yourself all day long, right? You in there, y'all in there. So if you know your body, you know what you need to do. And if you say it out loud, you kind of know what you need to follow through with. You just need to follow through with it and do what works best for your body. But sometimes trying too many different things is more of your mind looking for something to distract you from what you really need to be doing. And that's that can get kind of risky. So be careful and stick to what you need to do. Stick to one thing if you can, or if you're going to mix it up, just know you're mixing it up. And that's why you may not look the way you want to look, because you got too many different styles going on with this body. Whatever you work out for, if you're working out for powerlifting, you have a powerlifting body. You work out for bodybuilding, you have a bodybuilding body. You work out for strongman, you have a strongman body. You work out for CrossFit, you have a CrossFit body. So mixing it all together and trying to have this cross training physique, like, It can happen, but how long can you actually sustain that? I see dudes who look great online, and I'm sure they're not like, I mean, everybody can't be on stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like some guys just look good. Like, it don't matter what you're doing. They might just be doing body weight stuff or jumping around or doing stuff just for Instagram to teach exercise online or whatever. It might be cardio type of stuff, all these different things. And I always think to myself, like, y'all are working real hard. And one day you're not going to want to work that hard no more. Like, so either slow and steady, slow and consistent can win the race, or all of that crazy hardcore stuff and it's going to go up and you're going to be doing this. And then one day you're going to crash. And then you're going to think back to yourself and say, man, I used to work out hard back in the day. I used to work out hard. But how can you ever get back to that? You was in there lifting and crawling across the floor and doing and boxing and cycling and all these other things. You got to go back to that. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even put that type of energy in me because I know I want to kind of stay slow and consistent. I can do anything, but at the same time, do I want to make that a part of what's making my physique? So, be careful with that. The fourth point, which ties into my last point, is that sustainable? Is your workout style or your workouts and this information or the feedback that you're getting or the advice, is this advice even sustainable? Can you do it for a long period of time, or is it going to be some advice that only lasts for a couple months, that only lasts for a few weeks, or it's only in tune for what's the current thing that's going on right now? So if it's not permanent and it's not something that you can actually maintain forever, proceed with caution. Proceed with caution. Okay, like one of those P90X. 90 days you're gonna get in shape and this and this and that, and then you get in shape and then the 91st day you don't know what to do. You like, dang, this was hard. Now I gotta start from scratch. What do I do? Another 90 days? I'm tired of that. Like, so the thing is, like, you can't, how can you maintain that? How can you maintain that for 10, 15, 20 years? You're gonna be doing P90X for 20 years straight? You think so? I don't know. I don't know, champ. Same thing with your diet. Like find a diet that works good for you. You really think you're gonna be dieting like that for 20 years? Like, or is it something that you're gonna be doing for a while? All those eating out of those containers and trying to do certain, you think you're gonna eat like that forever? Would you not want to, manage your dietary restrictions and stuff a certain way that your body can handle so that you can still maintain physique and maybe splurge on certain days versus having to always stick to this tight meal prep schedule or whatever? Who's going to do that forever? That's wild. You know what I mean? Who wants to do that for 10 years? And so consider that. Now, my final point is my fifth point. I got my notes. My fifth point is test your methods and track your progress with real data and not your feelings. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is when you track your progress by feelings, I don't want you to say, well, I do feel different. I do feel a lot better. I do have a lot more of this. I do feel like, no, you got to track your progress by real tangible things, pictures, like weight, like numbers. Were you able to go up on it? Were you able to do more reps? Were you able to do more sets? Clean with great form, so all those things are important. And that's how you gauge if you're going to improve or not, or if you're making progress or not. Because you can't just go in there, talking about, I feel better. I feel like I look different. And you got the invisible lat syndrome when now you walk around with your lats wide, like you really think that's something, but it's not. Like, you got to get on a scale. You got to see if you really have that, like you've been really making progress. And so keep that in mind too. That's the fifth thing. All right. It's long-winded today. Not a lot of people in here, but at least we got some work done. Let's see what's in the chat. KC, what's going on? Appreciate it. Bluto, you said, do I know my course is coming? Well, you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday, and I feel really good. Before I wanted to do my course last year, but remember I had the issue with my prostate and the issue with my colon, or whatever like that. I thought it was my gallbladder, all that stuff. Anyway, so I got the polyp removed from my colon, and now I can actually eat and stuff, and I can feel a lot better. Like going out in the day, I used to get this cramp, like right in my groin and in my lower back, in my like my midsection. It was like this bubbly, gassy cramp inside of my intestines or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Around to my butt, and it would kind of radiate down to my inner thighs and my hips and stuff. And so it was very hard for me to even want to be in the gym and work hard and even do anything. but now I feel a lot better. So to answer your question, hopefully in the next 6 months I can drop it, and then I'm gonna be so, detailed with it. Hopefully it can be something that's just timeless, and I can drop it one time so that I can get on cruise control and just start saying to y'all, hey, look, here's the program. And the good thing right now is that I'm testing it out on myself. And so I have the look and I got the weight, because right now I'm 175. So I got to go back from 175 to 205. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably start making the course around 190-ish, 195-ish. But once it gets to about 205, like that'll let me know for sure that the process that I want y'all to go through is really going to work, because we got to go calisthenics first, and then we got to do heavy weights right after. And heavy weights. So it's gonna be like y'all gonna be doing calisthenics, and then it's gonna jump into lifting stupid heavy, and then going from stupid heavy to detail and cardio. So it's a lot, but I have to do it all so that y'all understand, because certain times of these processes require a certain amount of food too, and like you got to have a lot of water at the same time. So, and then on top of that, I've been getting real detailed on actually which supplements I think are necessary. And what I'm finding, like especially going through like my male stuff and figuring out my own body and stuff like that, I'm realizing that you don't really need that many supplements. And I've been narrowing down the list of like things you do need and stuff like that. And some of the stuff that we talked about, they're good for you. But then I got some other things that I'm like, you know what? We probably could stay right around here and not need too much, And so there's just little stuff I've been learning about, like valerian root. I like saw palmetto now. I like vitamin D a lot. I like magnesium aspartate. I like glutamine. You know what I'm saying, for your gut health. I didn't realize that glutamine was good for your gut, and a lot of things about cleaning out your gut health is very important. So I had to learn that too. So all this I'm put together, and when I put it together, it's gonna be magnifico. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see. Anyway, Yoli, what's going on? Appreciate y'all joining my video today, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night.